I am really excited to tell you that the next 10 days, I am going to share with you 10 brand new videos or audios, depends on whether you are watching this on YouTube or listening to this on the podcast. And all these 10 days, there's going to be a 10-minute educational video or audio all about your metabolism. And especially for those of you who feel like their metabolism may have slowed down. So 10 minutes for the next 10 days. And then after these 10 days, I'm going to invite you to come to my free webinar. This free webinar is called Ignite Your Metabolism, and it's exactly meant for those who feel like no matter what they do, they cannot get the results because their metabolism has slowed down big time. So who exactly is this webinar for? So it's for people who have been eating low calories consistently for several months or years, but have not seen any result. The body does not respond the way they want. They have even cut their calories lower because, like I said, there's been no result. They also have been really consistent with exercise, and they're already working out 3 to 5 times a week, sometimes even more, sometimes even doing 2 workouts a day. Still, nothing is happening. They're exhausted, they're tired, they don't know what to do next. So this is exactly the person who this webinar is for. So Ignite Your Metabolism, it is happening on Wednesday, May 12th at 4 p.m. Pacific time and 7 p.m. Eastern. So make sure that you grab your spot. And I'm going to put the link to my description. It's going to be in the YouTube description. It's also going to be in the show notes, and of course on my blog, urbanjane.co, and also in my Instagram bio. So make sure that you grab your spot if you want to understand what's up with your metabolism, why nothing is changing. If you can't be on that call, that is okay, because I will send out the recording for everybody who do sign up. However, if you are on that live call, you can ask questions that are specific to your situation, and I will help you out on that call. And you will also get some amazing bonuses. So I'm really hoping to see you there. Don't forget, it's on Wednesday, May 12th at 4 p.m. Pacific and 7 p.m. Eastern. I'll see you there. Hey everybody, welcome back to the next episode of the Balanced Vibes podcast. And this is episode number 7 out of 10 that we are doing on metabolism and how to speed it up and all that good stuff related to metabolism and fat loss and training and so on and so on. So what we're going to talk about today is what to do if you have hit a small plateau, if the scale is not moving in the direction where you want it to go, and what are some of the things that you can try. And I'm going to give you 10 tips that you can try out, and they should really help you to get out of this situation and start losing weight again. However, before we get started, I want you to know that weight loss is not always the most important thing, or it's not the best way to even measure your success. So the other things that you can use, of course, are things like energy level and sleep and how good you're feeling, how is your gut health and all that, but also the measurements, measurements of your waist, your hips, your thighs, also the photos, if you're taking progress photos. And these are all also clothes, how those are fitting. So these are all really important ways to track your success too. It's not only about the scale, because the scale can fluctuate quite a bit, based on all kinds of different things that are going on in your life, fiber intake, water intake, did you work out yesterday, all that kind of stuff. So the scale might fluctuate, but if you haven't seen a change in your measurements or photos and nothing else feels different too, then there are some things that you can definitely try to start feeling differently and get the fat loss going again. So now the next tips that I'm going to give you, all these tips are based on the assumption that you are tracking your calories and tracking your macronutrients, because I am a macro coach. This is the main thing that I use for my clients to help them get to their goals. So let's jump right in. The first thing that you can try is either increasing or decreasing your calories. And now you may be thinking, okay, that's not too helpful. Am I going to increase then, or am I going to decrease then? And let's just say that you have already, decreased a little bit. Maybe you started 1900 and then, maybe you did 1850, and now we can decrease another 50 calories. If nothing has happened, no change has been, in the past 3 weeks, then we can take down another 50 calories and see what happens. Now, if it's a person who's been under eating for a long period of time and has been sitting at, 1300, 1400 calories for many weeks, then it might be the time to increase their calories, and that can actually get the scale moving in the right direction. So it can go one way or it can go the other way. If one way doesn't work, maybe it's time to experiment with the other one. And this is where a coach is really helpful, because they have more experience. They know what might have what has been going on, because they have seen these things happen before, so they can tell you what to try. But if you're trying on your own, try one thing first and then try the other thing. So if you're now cutting your calories to get the scale moving, don't cut more than 40-50 calories at a time. No need to do more, because if you take your metabolic rate down quickly, you know what's going to happen. You're definitely going to hit even deeper plateau. So no going from 2000 to 1400, for example. This is just too big of a cut. Just do it more gradually. The second thing is to simply increase your protein. So if you are currently not eating the recommended 0.6 to 1 grams of protein per 1 pound of your body weight, then get your protein up, because this is going to increase your satiety. You're going to feel fuller longer, and then you're going to be able to put on muscle easier. So increasing your protein, getting it a little bit higher will be helpful. So if you're currently eating 0.6 grams of protein per pound of body weight, then let's get that a little bit higher. Let's get that to 0.8, or let's get it even to 1 gram per pound of body weight. But also there's no reason to push it much higher. Sometimes people ask me, hey, should I go 1.2? Should I go 1.4? But honestly, no, you don't. There's no like big benefits that you get out of this. So 1 gram of protein per 1 pound of body weight is a really, really good place to be. Some people don't even feel comfortable there, so they can be like 0.8, 0.9. But if you're currently eating 0.6 or even less than that, it's definitely time to bump up your protein and see if that can get things moving in the right direction. All right, the next thing is increase your fiber if it's not high enough yet. So a lot of people are barely getting 15, 16 grams of fiber per day. And a good goal would be to get 25 grams of fiber per day, maybe even 35. Don't push it too high either, but about 25 to 35 grams of fiber every day is definitely something you should aim for. The next thing that you can try is having 1 day a week when you are just eating more freely and without stressing about tracking. Yes, this can definitely help you get out of that plateau if you have hit that. So it doesn't mean eating like binge eating or going crazy and thinking that, there's no tomorrow. I have to stuff this all into my body today because it's the last day. No, not that way, but just eat a little bit more. Maybe go out, have just a relaxed dinner where you are not tracking and you're not counting. And this can give your metabolism a nice little boost to get the things moving in the right direction again. The next thing is tracking a little bit more accurately. So just checking in with yourself. Am I actually tracking my macros correctly? I've seen people like that. They say, yeah, I'm tracking. And then they still use like cups and one medium size, this and that. And this doesn't really help, because the tracking can be really, really off. And like I said, if you do like one free eating day, one untracked meal a week, that's not like binge eating, but it's just like a normal eat, you didn't track, yeah, that's fine. But what you do most of the time gives you most of the results. So if you track accurately most of the time, then you get a good idea of what's going on. If your tracking is inaccurate, then this can be the reason why you're not getting the results that you want, because your calories might be constantly over. The next thing is increasing your NEAT activity, non-exercise associated thermogenesis. So all the movement that is not exercise, right? So if your steps are right now around 5,000, then, let's get them higher. Let's get them to 7,000. And maybe the week after there will be 8,000. If you're already walking 10,000 steps, maybe see if you can take them to 11,000 or 12,000. NEAT activity is definitely one of the big factors, and one of the pretty overlooked factors, honestly. So studies have even shown that those who gain weight back after weight loss, it has happened largely because they also stop the NEAT. They don't park their car further away anymore. They don't walk as much as they did before, and then the weight is more likely to come back again. So that's why it's really important to keep that NEAT up and maybe even increase it. Next thing could be lift more weights, or it could be take more rest days. So again, depending on the person. So if you are maybe lifting only twice a week and you have time in your schedule and you want to get better results, then for sure 3-4 days a week of lifting is going to be helpful. Now, on the other side, if you're somebody who's already lifting a lot, maybe you're lifting 5 days a week or 6 days a week, and you're feeling you're more tired, maybe your stress response is higher, then maybe you need to lift less and take one more rest day. And the other thing is, of course, cardio. If you are stressing your body out right now with too much cardio, then this is definitely one thing that where you can cut back, because as we have talked before too, it can increase your cortisol levels too much. If you are already living a stressful lifestyle, then one rest day a week extra is going to be helpful. And I personally take 3 rest days, and it's fine. You don't have to be pushing all the time, because when you're pushing all the time, cortisol will be high. It's going to be harder to lose body fat. All right, we have a couple more steps. Sleep more. Sleep is really, really important for your fat loss, and it is not helpful if you think that, I don't care for sleep. I get up at 4:30 to get my 2-hour run in, and then I just get to work and get my kids ready and all that kind of stuff. No, you gotta sleep. So if you're only getting like 5 hours, you're not going to have the fat loss result that you want. And I think I brought up this study before too, that people who sleep 8 hours a night are able to build about 60% more muscle than those who sleep 5 hours a night. So there's definitely huge difference. You have to get your sleep in check if you want to see fat loss results. And then the last thing is your gut health. So definitely something that you have to pay attention to. So for example, if you experience a lot of gas, a lot of bloating, a lot of constipation, that means that things are not moving in your body. You're not able to eliminate them. And then you may have some inflammation from foods that maybe don't work for you. So it's definitely helpful to work with somebody who can help you figure out your gut issues. And it's always the case that when the gut issues get resolved, then of course weight loss, fat loss becomes a lot easier. So definitely one thing to not overlook, but take very seriously. So these are my 10 tips for you today. If you haven't seen fat loss for a while, if you think, okay, what's going on? What do I need to do next? Then try out one of these or 2 or 3. Let me know how it goes. And thanks so much for being here. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.